Hi, everybody. This is your weekly astrology forecast from Born Without Boundaries for June 13th through the 19th of 2021. I have to admit to you all that when I first started reading the charts, I was really frightened. And the beginning of this week, there's a lot of combustibility happening and there's a lot of truth-telling happening. And it's for one purpose and one purpose alone: Pluto, weeding out the weak. That's what Pluto's job is. You know, he is the great reckoning. He is the absolute truth. He is the universal truth. He's not just like the 3D truth. And he is the spiritual truth. And what Pluto is doing, especially in our relationships. So this is a big time relationship week, guys. There are makeups, breakups, and everybody's shaken up. And a lot of it is to force us to face past trauma, past stress, past hurt, past pain, past suffering, issues, family dramas, mama dramas, that have shaped or formed our brain into making us make choices that aren't the best for us, even though we're convinced that they are because they're comfortable. But are they comfortable because they're where our heart wants? Because our heart is very confused. And I think our heart is going to be confused all week because we're so used to wanting a specific thing. But suddenly the heart is starting to remember what it really wants. And the rememory, as they would say in Beloved, which is one of my favorite books. The rememory is not remembering your past or remembering your ex. It's remembering your actual soul. It's remembering your actual heart. It's remembering the actual piece of God that lives inside of you. And maybe really for a lot of us, remembering our divine counterparts. And for a brief moment in this kind of cosmic and psychic clarity, we see them and we connect with them. Even if they're miles and miles away, we absolutely can actually feel them. And remember to not settle and to not let ourselves be in situations that aren't real. This doesn't mean that everybody's breaking up. A lot of times, especially if they're good relationships, they're going to become stronger because what you've done is you've challenged yourself to get more true and become a truer version of who you are. You know, Pluto is 100% truth. He's the absolute truth. And what he destroys, because they call him a great destroyer, he destroys the fake. He destroys the false. He destroys that which was built on ego or status or low self-esteem, appearances, and not even just, you know, just not even necessarily in a malicious way. Sometimes we do these things because, you know, we feel like we have to fit in, or we feel like this is what we should want, or we feel like we can't handle more. We don't want to wait, or we've been lonely so long. And Pluto will come in and will wreck everything that is not real, is not truly connected to God. Because that's really the only thing that keeps you safe. When the wrecking ball of Pluto comes in, is your connection to God. That which is truly defined by its connection to God cannot be undone, and it cannot be destroyed. There's no such thing. Pluto doesn't have that kind of power. You know, he's sort of like the wrecking ball for the garbage. He has no power over that which is true. So as we enter this week, I just want people to realize that everything that's being done and everything that's happening is because we need the cleaning out, and because we're so close to what we want. We may not even, not what we want. That's not a good word because we mistake that for our ego. We're so close to our truth in the 3D that we barely notice it. Let's get into the reading. As you know, I'm going to do the day-by-day, play-by-play. So please stick through. I do Sunday through Saturday. And after every single day, I follow it up with a mantra that I have created so that you can basically say it, chant it, pray it to yourself, mumble it to yourself, think it in your head throughout the day. And I will definitely tell you if I think that they should be accompanied by grounding and breath work. But of course, you know, you practice how you want to practice. The mantras that I feel are helpful for you in this energy that we're experiencing now, but definitely expect huge changes. I think long-term results, in other words, this will change you forever. This will change your relationship forever. And this may not just be relationships like romance. It could be change your relationship with your mother or father, or change your relationship with your children, change your relationship with, your friends. This could really change your relationships, hopefully for the better. And those that get destroyed, it's not horrible things like death or anything like that, but it is dealing with things like death, the death of a loved one, maybe the death of a past relationship that you never really allowed yourself to experience. So many different ways that we experience loss in our life. So it is coming to terms with those things. Let's get into the summary. The opening to this week is the climactic explosion building from the last few weeks. Overreactions and unbridled passion make us make stupid and irrational decisions. And if there was ever a time for breakups to happen, it is now. It's like the universe is twisting us inside out and forcing our shadows to be worn on the outside. If you aren't acquainted with your dark side, it will take over you now as if it were your best friend, the best friend that you've ever had, and it's doing what is best for you. Nope. While this moon is in Leo, we really have to watch out for an intensity overload with our insecurities rupturing. Instead, spiritual work is required. For those who are vigilant with their spiritual development, the first 3 days of this week is going to intrigue you. It may also scare you, but that's the point. It's a humbling experience that makes us see just how far we will go when our dark side has taken over. So that's your introduction, and in some ways, I think we have to be afraid because, as Ned Stark would say, the only way we can be brave is when we're afraid, because bravery is how you face fear. Bravery is courage in the face of fear. That's what it is. It's our decision to connect with our heart and move forward in faith, even though we have these shaky legs. So Sunday, June 13th rolls around. The moon is in Leo, which is a demanding position for it. Why is it demanding? The moon in Leo is a demanding position because it makes us emotionally needy. It makes us need attention and affection and validation to, feel good. It's an easy place to get emptied really quickly. Emptied based on you could feel really good, really strong about a relationship, and then you don't get their attention, or you don't get a phone call, or you don't get a text right back, or the text takes too long. You're like, why? It can be a very high maintenance position for the moon. So that's why it can be very demanding. So in addition, so let's say the moon is in Leo, which is a demanding position for it. In addition, they are both in direct opposition to Pluto. Oh, the moon is in direct opposition to Pluto. This combination is volatile, and it plays on your emotions and passions, exacerbating insecurities, feeling that people aren't paying attention to you, that you're ignored, and demanding their attention will be common. Strong emotions are an understatement, and we may push our passions into others' faces, or vice versa. So if I haven't gotten that phone call, or I can't stop thinking about somebody that never really validated that they were interested in me too, I'm going to get right in their face today. I need their attention. What about paying attention to who you have in front of you? What about paying attention to the love that's being offered to you? Right now, what may take over our minds is the love that we aren't getting, the attention that we aren't getting. And that's the dark side that we have to watch out for. Strong emotions are an understatement, and we may push our passions into others' faces. If there are explosive battles with your friends or family, then this is when it will happen. You may also feel so strongly about what you feel is happening, you won't listen to reason or take time to figure out what's really happening. This is a day when it may be necessary to book a therapy appointment. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that insultingly. I say that because you deserve to get help when you are ill. And, you know, your brain and your psyche is a part of you, and it deserves attention when it's not working correctly too. So I'm not saying everybody has to go to a therapist this coming Sunday. But what I'm saying is, which will be tomorrow if you're watching this video when I release it on Saturday. But what I am saying is, it could get that bad for some people. It could necessitate a deeper intervention than you've ever needed before, because that's the level of intensity and fog that you're in. Yes, it could be that bad, because dark issues will come up and the impulse to act on them is strong. Funneling your energy into creative activities is the best way to deal with this energy, especially if you can do it alone and peacefully. Dance in your garage. Type your novel frantically in the peace of your own home, maybe in separate rooms from your spouse. Because Pluto is still impacting the North Node, we will be driven to move our lives forward. It will take a lot of calming exercises to channel this into productive action. So Pluto's optimism can just be weak enough to make us feel like we're overreacting for righteous reasons. You know, so that's what I'm saying is, like, you may feel you have a right to overreact. You may feel like you have a right to act impulsively. You may feel like you have a right to throw that accusation. So with all this energy, you know, energy is just energy. I don't believe that it's good or bad. It's just, what do you do with it? And the best way to channel this energy is to channel it into a project. Get a big old canvas and Jackson Pollock it, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, go skating, or, like I said, dance in your living room in your underwear, like turn the music up loud, write music, not just turn the music up and listen to music, but write music, sing. You need to be in the action of creating. There has to be tangible creation happening for you to actually be able to funnel or channel all this energy, all this chaos into something that is productive. And that will be very productive, because it will be very painfully honest, and it will be sort of expressing parts of you that are darker, that may not come up often, and they are absolutely extraordinary. And when somebody sees you put your courage, or have courage to share your darker sides, that's the kind of creative work that really inspires other people, that really other people will kind of relate to. You know, that's the next #1 hit on the charts, or the next $1 million painting in the Louvre. You know, it's because it's those darker aspects of ourselves that we don't show to each other, that when artists can actually articulate that into something that can touch other people, that's the kind of stuff that really is a kind of catharsis for other people to help them. So it really is a wonderful opportunity to take this darker energy and channel it into a creative project. It's going to be a healing and actually productive way to handle this energy. With Mercury still in retrograde, this day could go down in history as the biggest shit show of the year, FYI. Desperation and love may take over, and we rush into situations that won't make us happy in the long run. And sometimes if you do it, you just got to eat it and chalk it up to, okay, now I realize how sad I am. Now I realize how lonely I am. Now I realize that I haven't learned as much as I thought I've learned. This is not a time to hate yourself. This is a time to love yourself stronger. The mantra for Sunday: I am surrounded by unconditional love and light. I am loved. I am connected. I am peace. Follow with meditation throughout the day as needed. Grounding is highly recommended. Grounding is the planting of your feet onto the earth, the actual earth, the grass, the sand. Monday, June 14th comes around. We could be bringing up shit from the past that we haven't dealt with and projecting it onto our current situation or partner and not realize it because it's almost delusional. With Venus sextile Uranus, we could finally be ready for something new or feel so fed up with what we think is happening, we decide we want something or someone new. The issue with today is that everything you think is wrong is either not real or not really as bad as you're making it. But you're acting on it as if it's like an emergency. This is the make or break day for relationships, because if you can really love somebody through this day and understand them, and you could find a way to understand each other, I mean, this is a level of depth and support that strong relationships are built on, if not, then you know that it's just not meant to be. It's not a relationship that could have withstood, some relationships are just together, even if they're together for 20 years, because they've never really been tested. I'm going to say it's like the book of Job, where, the devil says, hey, God, you know what? Job loves you so much because guess what? You've always been good to him. What if you're shit to him? Let me test him. And God's like, okay, sure, test him. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, this is the test of the relationship. This is it. This is Pluto, right? That's that energy of just like, let me test you. Let me test you to see if you're really connected to God. And of course, in the book of Job, he was really connected to God, because the more horrible things got, the more he connected to God, and the more he renewed his faith in God. And by the end, not only did he get everything back, but he got more back because and the truth is, he was still happy. He found happiness in just his connect. His happiness was not dependent upon the perfect stuff. It was always dependent upon the connection to God. So that just says that which is truly connected to God, whatever you see God as, the devil can't take away if it's truly connected. And this will tell you and even show you if you're connected the way you want to be, and if your connection is as strong as you want it to be. And these are lessons that will become very clear to you. This is the make or break day for relationships. If your situation isn't based on unconditional love, it's over. And this is all relationships: mother, father, sister, brother, lover, doesn't matter. With a grand fire trine between the moon in Leo, South Node in Sagittarius, and Chiron in Aries. We are resting too securely on impulses that are holding us back. In the best case scenario, we'll see how far we still have to come, be humbled, and take notes on our behavior. Worst case scenarios can be extremely bad. This is a terrible time for relationships, though. If you can get through this, you can get through anything, like I said. The energy equates to an emotional D-Day. And fire will rain from the sky. it's meant to finish off those situations that should not be happening. But we've hung on to these situations for reasons of maybe codependency or some other unhealthy reasoning. Couples therapy is recommended, but for those relationships barely holding on, or family therapy, don't waste your time. It's over. This is the day you can't get around if you are in a relationship that should have ended a while ago. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. With Venus's position to Uranus, we'll want to rebel against the old confinement of our current situation and fly headlong into something new. And with Uranus now square the moon in Leo, just forget it. Overreacting is through the roof, and I'll pray for you all. And I'll pray for I'll pray for myself too. I'll pray for myself. Not pray to God for myself, but pray, just to pray and meditate to heal myself throughout this day. The mantra, unconditional love. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. Surround me in light and peace. Permeate my heart and mind to harmonize their vibrations and ease my soul. Meditation and grounding is essential on Monday. Tuesday, June 15th rolls around. With the sun sextile the moon, we may get a bit of stability in ourselves today, making it possible to see just how irrationally we've behaved over the past few days. Whether we are ready to take responsibility for it is another story, but we'll sit with it and we'll have time to learn from our darkness. You will not be able to not see it because it will still be there in the room. Pluto is encouraging this harmony between sun and moon, seeking to put us back together after it tore us apart over the past 2 days. By us, I mean ourselves, not our relationships. You understand? It's not the two of you, it's the two halves of you that need to come back together, because if you're not whole, if you're not complete, then there's no way that you can be in a relationship that is with anybody. And in my daily tarot card readings, and if you want to participate with the live daily tarot card readings, because you guys know I post them here every day, but if you want to participate with me live, then follow me on Instagram, born_without_boundaries. I'd love to have you over there. But I say this, I use this metaphor all the time. You are an instrument. You have to tune up yourself to make sure that you are in tune before you can harmonize with somebody else. If you are not in tune, you will only make dissonant sound, and you will only be able to find other dissonant sounds. If you want to be in true harmony, you have to tune yourself first. And the tune, what you're tuning, what the true tone is this heart space, this unlock, this God vibration inside of you. And sometimes we need help with that. But once we can unlock that vibration, if we tune into that, that's what you're tuning off of. If you ever played an instrument, you know that you kind of have these pitches or these tunes that you know are correct, these perfect pitches that you tune off of. The perfect pitch for us is the light inside of us, the God inside of us, or God in general. And that's why nature is perfect pitch. Nature is the closest three-dimensional thing to actual God, that as close to God as we can get, because it's pure, because it's not interrupted by ego. So what I would say is nature is really going to help us to tune ourselves. It's kind of it could be that perfect pitch mark so that we can tune any unharmonious, counterproductive, dissonant tones inside of ourselves, and then we can head into our relationships, but not until then. So ultimately, this is a day of mourning and remorse. You may not like yourself too much this day, but you'll certainly be aware of who you really are. For you Star Wars fans, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Imagine the first time Anakin had to face his evil deeds after 20 years of hiding behind Darth Vader. Imagine that moment for him and how much fear it must have taken, how much courage it must have taken to face his own horrible deeds. That's the bravest anybody can be. And that's what you'll be asked to do on Tuesday. It's going to take all your courage to sit with this. And the only way is loving unconditionally. Be compassionate to yourself today. Be compassionate to others, especially to yourself, though. This does not mean to excuse yourself for stuff you've done wrong. It means to see your full self, your full humanity, and in turn, to be able to see that humanity in others. Mantra: compassion is the expression of unconditional love. May it permeate me and flow from me. Wash me in its cleansing light and guide me forward in faith and humility. Wednesday, June 16th rolls around. We may be too keen on fixing things today when what we should be doing is trying to understand why they happened. If we don't take time to understand the issues, we are bound to repeat them, starting the cycle all over again. Remember, this whole time in Gemini season is about learning. Did you learn from what just happened? Remember, Mercury retrograde in Gemini is the ultimate teacher. It's brutal, but effective. We have to learn about our mistakes and from our mistakes, the motivations behind them, and seeing where they lead and owning that suffering so we don't do it again. If we are too quick to rebuild, we will be setting the stage for another implosion. The moon in Virgo can be used in two ways. One, to analyze the facts by researching the collapse and to understand how to make a stronger structure, or to try to micromanage the destruction site and to start to build right away again, because that makes us feel in control right away again. And that, stay away from the latter, stay away from it. We have to learn now. We have to make understanding our priority. Not to the point of obsession, though, because that could cause the same kind of problems. Open-mindedness and open-heartedness is essential today. Don't decide. Listen, learn, understand. Before you try any action to rebuild relationships, when openness to new ideas could pique our interest in different kinds of people. Venus is trine Neptune, making us creative and gentle and genuinely curious. And the moon is trine to Uranus, creating an energy of willingness to try new things. This could be a wonderful day for something new to come into your life, and it may have long-term staying power. It could also be a great day also to create. The mantra for Wednesday is, I learn. Failure and disappointment are teachers. I understand. Wisdom is achieved when suffering is faced with humility and compassion results. I accept what doesn't work and open myself to new opportunities. Thursday, June 17th rolls around. Well, today is the day of don't play for relationships. Shit's gonna get real. Pluto is opposite Venus. This means a change or transformation in your relationships. It means deeper love. It could also mean breakups. It's really about where you're at and how honest you can be with yourself first and foremost, and then ultimately with each other. So this day is really a lot about relationships. Everything is about relationships, but more romantic relationships, but not just, I shouldn't say that. Pluto is intensifying the sun, which is square the moon opposite Neptune. So some really deep issues regarding health, or our mental health, or our psyche, or what really screwed us up. The moon is in Virgo now, may come up, and we are not in the best place to connect with spirit. It's a very vulnerable position for usually very psychic people to be in. So we'll be relying on deductive reasoning, but that might also be compromised due to misinformation. I have been telling you guys for the past 2 weeks that faith is what's getting us through everything. Faith is so important today, I can't even tell you, because for most of this energy, our psychic energy has been on point. But because of the position of the moon today, that day on Thursday, it's almost like an eclipse of the psyche. So that is going away, and you have to have faith. You have to have faith. That's the way that you get through this. Here's the thing. It'll be too easy today for us to fall back on the South Node energy of, because its South Node is in Sagittarius, of making generalizations and quick judgments. I'm looking at you, Sagittarius, trusting what always has worked for us a little bit too much. Honesty, especially emotional honesty is what is so important today. Taking responsibility for your feelings instead of projecting them onto your partner, friend, lover could be what makes or breaks a relationship today. Mantra for Thursday: I honor my feelings. I listen to my feelings. I own my feelings. I am truth. I am courage. I am honesty. And first and foremost, you have to be honest with yourself. Friday, June 18th. Even if it doesn't make sense, you have to be honest. June 18th. Friday and Saturday are basically like the entire world explodes open, and it's all secrecies get. It's like all these secrets get spilled everywhere for everyone to see. This will happen globally, so we could get some big news. But it will also hit personally when all this new information that's been hiding for years is suddenly front and center. If you've lost someone that you love, like actually by death or death of a relationship, including family members who have died, today is the day you will face these feelings and any deep sadness over those losses and their subsequent effects on you. Because lots of times we feel justified in our pain to perpetuate that pain and then control other people with, don't mention that because you know I can't talk about that. And it goes on forever. And it's like it goes on for years and years and years. And, you know, people will fight you and say, well, you know, mourning and grief has no time frame. It has the time frame that you allow it. You know, as Dr. Phil would say, time heals nothing. Time heals nothing. You have to be active and consciously making the choice to heal yourself. And a lot of times, if you just put up those trauma blocks of, this is trauma, you can't talk to me about it because it's trauma. That's not a get out of jail free card. Yeah, I know that you have trauma and you should, and I'm compassionate for that. But at the same time, our trauma is our responsibility, and it's not an excuse to continue to hurt people or block people out or justify you're not living your life to the fullest. It's something that you have to face. And so what this day will do is make that very clear and basically almost gently offer you reasons why, right? Maybe tell you what you finally need to hear to face that trauma, because that's really what the universe wants you to do, to move past it. And it's not an easy thing. I'm not trying to diminish it at all. I'm just saying that the universe wants you to heal. This is all about healing. This is a deep healing day that will bring us closer to love, which is God. Pluto strengthens the sun now and our purpose in life to become more compassionate through empathy. When we face our own demons, other people's demons aren't that scary. So, yeah, Pluto is still tugging on Venus and the North Node, using them as teaching devices to open our understanding of ourselves better. It's through relationships and the desire to move forward that we are forced to confront sadness from childhood, maybe concerning our mothers or mother figures. The truth is, after all these years, we may learn that we've been blaming the wrong parent. Even if you are used to having open conversations with your family, what you learn from this day will surprise you and strangely heal you. This is what you need. This is what you needed, but didn't know how to ask for. It's almost like, in some ways, have you ever heard that story of, Copernicus, where everybody saw the math just wasn't working out. The math just wasn't working out for the the geocentric version of the solar system. The mathematicians, which is what Copernicus was, it just wasn't working out. The math didn't work out with Earth in the center. Mathematically didn't make any sense. And so he tried something different, something that was actually sacrilegious at the time. He put the sun, took the earth out of the center, he put the sun in the center of our solar system, and he said, well, let's see how this works. And the math was like exactly what it was supposed to be. It may have been still a little bit off, but it was so much better. And he was like, and that's the kind of aha moments that you break through and see, is that the reason why it kept not working is because I kept trying the same things. I kept putting the same things into the wrong spots over and over again and expecting them to finally magically work. What I have to do is put new stuff in there. And what this day will do is like trip you and make all those things fall accidentally. And you'll be like, oh my God, everything's screwed up. But it's not screwed up. Things are actually in the place they're supposed to be. The universe knew you couldn't figure it out yourself, and now it's putting them there. And before you can change it, you'll start to see how well it works in that new positioning. You just weren't going to be able to see it because of your trauma. You couldn't see past that broken perspective. And so now in pushing you, in readjusting for you, even though it feels wrong at first, you'll start to feel a smoothness that you never saw before. And that's why I say it could be that you've been blaming the wrong parent. Because forever, from your limited perspective, you thought, oh, dad left because of this, or something. And now you really realize, all of a sudden, now you're getting the news of what really went on. And you see your parents first and foremost as humans instead of like archetypes. And secondly, you see the whole different perspective that you never got before, which heals your heart, because now you don't have to hate one of them. You can understand both of them. That kind of energy, that's what's happening. The truth is, after all these years, we may learn that we're blaming the wrong parent. Even if you were used to having open relationships with your family, what you learn from this day will surprise you and strangely heal you. This is what you needed but didn't know how to ask for. I love that kind of stuff. So mantra, I am compassion. I am forgiveness. I forgive and allow myself to be forgiven. I forgive and I forgive myself. The light in me, this is what yogis say all the time, the light in me honors the light in others. And then we finally move on to Saturday, June 17th. Yeah, did I count that wrong? I might have to fit. Yeah, June 19th. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just wrote it wrong. Saturday, June 19th. Holy crapola, this is like lovemaking after the fight. It's juicy. The sensuality today is off the hook, and our connection to others through our psychic relationships is just as sexy. It's just sexy. This is a day when we lay it all bare, and I do mean bare, like bare naked. Everything is on the table now. Which is really what nakedness is. This is emotional nakedness, which is real, true nakedness. And the rawness of it all leaves us winded. We don't know ourselves or don't recognize ourselves because our heads are so spun around and knees are shaken. We're not supposed to know ourselves now. We are officially Twitter-pated. And for all you guys who grew up with Bambi and that trauma, Twitter-pated is when everybody falls in love and you're just so love drunk. It's like mating season in the Bambi. And everybody starts to fall in love and you think you're immune to it and you're absolutely not. So this is Twitter-pated time. So we're not thinking clearly, but we are feeling clearly and we know what we want through our emotions. This could be the perfect day to heal the hurt from the rest of the week. It's really not through talking, though, but through action that we show our interest in something today. Maybe even through the act of laying it all bare. We find, laying it all bare, we find a heat that we didn't expect inside of ourselves and between us and another person. Mars is in the fiery sign of Leo, confident and strong, and Venus is still in watery Cancer. So those are two diametric opposites. What do you get? Steam, which is essentially a part of air. Things will come together like this today. Events you think are totally unrelated add up to exactly what you were looking for. If anyone has been hiding their feelings for you or vice versa, this is the day you will find out. You will get called out on what you really feel and come out and maybe into a beautiful new situation that even though you had to be pushed into it, it's almost like if you've seen it, like if you've seen Bambi, right? If you ever seen that movie, like Flower, the little skunk, who is always kind of romantic, he's the first one to fall in love. And then Thumper is like, oh, I'm not letting that happen to me. And then bam, he finds his like mate. And then Bambi's like, oh, no. He's like trying to run away from it. He's trying to avoid it. And then bam, he hits, I think, into Feline, which is eventually his wife or, you know, his mate. So it's almost like we may have to be pushed a little bit by friends, by the universe, by friends, by the universe through friends, you know, but it's actually good stuff. It could push you into a beautiful situation. I'm not sure you're going to be able to believe this, but expect to learn from your past. And with this clarity, do better today. Things could get steamy, at least for now. So I'm not sure everything will last forever, but it will be hot while it lasts. Mantra: I am love. I am truth. I open my ears before my mouth and find the truth in my heart and allow it to come out. I love you guys. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope that it's helped, and I hope that these help your week. Please leave your comments below. I will try to respond to them. If you're looking for more content, Zodiac specific messages come out Tuesday through Friday. All 12 Zodiac signs, complete with extended videos over on Vimeo. You can find those Born Without Boundaries Tarot on YouTube and Born Without Boundaries over on Vimeo. You guys know the channel. I hope you're already subscribed. Please do hit subscribe and click here. Hit all notifications over here as well on Astrology Motivation, and find me at on Instagram as well as TikTok. I have a profile. I'm everywhere. So you can always find me. And yes, I do personal readings. For now, I'm still taking personal readings. So yeah, you guys can go to my website, bornwithoutboundariestarot.com, and you can book a personal reading with me. I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful and cathartic week, and I will talk to you soon and see you in the videos. Bye, guys.